Good morning, beautiful people. It is so wonderful to see your faces this morning at Friday Cafe. We're beyond thrilled to be in person with you. Our last session was March of 2020, and it was in Middletown. And we were in there like sardines and had a great session with Lori DeGalbo. We talked about mental flexibility and shifting your perspective. We're on a high, and a couple days later, we all got sent home. So that was our last Friday Cafe. So we're so happy that we can be with you today. So I'm Judy Carson. If we haven't met, I'm from the State Department of Education. And I'm joined here by my colleague, Betsy Laborious, who you'll hear from in a minute, and my other colleague, Vincent Crawford, back there, who you'll hear from, and Mary Lou Malloy, also my colleague from CREC. So we're very thankful to CREC for this collaboration and allowing us to be here. So I want to take you through a little bit of what we're doing today. Today is a celebration. 3 things we're celebrating. This is the 9th year of Friday Cafe, so that's kind of like, woo, that's kind of a big deal. Whoops. So, I know, woo, I dropped the mic. So in 2014, and maybe some of you were with us, we're like, we think people who do this work feel isolated and they'd like to get together and talk. So like, let's try this. Well, we figured we'd get, 10 or 12 people. Well, we had like 35 chairs and we ran out of chairs. So we're like, woo, I guess people want to talk about this work called family engagement. And so since then, we've been rolling. So we're so glad you're with us. We're so glad that we have this network to share. And well, the third thing we're celebrating today is you. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but today really is all about you. And many of you might have seen these slides as we were doing Friday Cafe online. So these are 3 goals. Establish a network. So I had these 2 little boys, and they've always been running towards each other. So that was my feeling during the pandemic, like, oh, it's so good to see you, but not quite. Well, this morning the 2 little boys meet, and they will actually hug in person. So that's very exciting. Also, our superstar over there, this is about an identity for this work called family engagement, called school family partnerships, called different things. Identifying this work as a very important part of what schools and districts do. And then my little guy in the middle, this is also about aha moments. So we want to today capture your aha moments. If you hear something from the person next to you or from the speaker that makes you think like, I didn't know that, or ooh, that's something I can use, that's really good. Please put your aha moment on one of these colored cards and just grab one now so you have it at hand. So because when that aha moment hits, you want to capture it. And then we're going to ask you to leave the cards behind. So you may want to write your aha moment in your own notes as well. Don't leave your aha moment behind, just leave the card behind. What do we do with the cards? Well, we collect them over the course of a year and we make a beautiful poster that is all of your words. We design it and we print it and we give these posters back to you as your words from this community. We didn't bring posters with us today because we brought Friday Cafe mugs, but when we meet next month, we will bring some posters from past years so you can have that. We also have some values. You've seen these before if you've been to Friday Cafe. And today I really wanted to pull out relational. So we really want to give you what you've always asked for. We need more time to talk to each other. And that was near impossible on Zoom. We tried, we did our best, but it's just not the same. So this is going to be talking to each other today, sharing what's new and your innovations. The world's changed a lot since we've been in person. Your questions, your desires. We're going to be having a beautiful facilitated conversation that's going to allow you to share and learn from each other and make those connections. I hope you walk away with at least 2 new phone numbers or emails from people you met today. That's my goal for you. And so with that, I want to introduce my colleague again, Betsy Laborious, who is going to say a few words about this morning, and then we will launch into the expertise is in the room, and that's you. We're really glad to be in the room with you today. Thank you.
Nice, Judy. Judy's taller than I am. My name is Betsy Laborious, and I am the project director for the statewide Family Engagement Center grant here in Connecticut. And I work at CREC, and there are many of my CREC colleagues, if you want, you can raise your hand, that we have said, please come, and here they are. So I want to welcome you. I want to welcome new members. You're going to love this. I want to thank our many champions that continue to follow us, as Judy said, whether it was through our virtual network meetings, which was really important during times, and now what I want to say is we're back, and we're really excited to have you here this morning. If you got here, I know it was a little bit of an interest to get here and to park. Congratulations, you did part of the job already today. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what our day is like. Primarily, our agenda is about, we have a conversation catalyst, and I'm going to have Vincent Crawford, who is our communications expert, introduce our conversation catalyst. But we have a conversation catalyst, and then after that, we have time for people to talk about their insights in terms of kind of the theme or what they're thinking about. What Judy talked about and is really important is that what we hope, our goal today is that you find someone new, or maybe an old friend, right? And what we're talking about really has, it has kind of action associated with it. New insights, different kinds of thinking. How will that inform your practice and the work that you do? So that's part of it. The other piece is we want to celebrate you. The expertise is in the room. We know it's been a few difficult years. We thank you. We want to recognize you for all the work that you have done in the past 3 years since we haven't been in person. So I want to thank every single one, and you should give yourselves a round of applause just in terms of what you're doing. I think I'm going to hand it over to my friend and colleague, Vincent Crawford.
A little bit taller than Betsy. There we go. All right. Betsy, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be back in person, to see so many familiar faces. It just feels really refreshing. Actually, I'm going to change up what I was going to do. We talked a bit about the expertise being in the room. I've been to these, I've participated. I know the tendency is to share the expertise at the table with the people that you work with. That's not as helpful as when you share the expertise with someone you haven't met before. So what I'm gonna ask everyone to do, stand up. There we go. Shake it out a little bit. Now, I was going to play music. I was going to do the Cupid Shuffle. I'll sing it. But what I'm going to ask people to do is to shuffle a little bit. I'm going to ask you to change tables. Move with someone maybe you don't know, you haven't seen before, right? So if you came in a large group, maybe from like East Hartford, you want to break up that group a little bit. You see those people all the time. So let's find some new tables, meet some new people so we can really share our expertise. So I'll give everyone a second to do that. So this morning, I have the privilege to introduce our conversation catalyst. About a year ago, I was doing some work in East Hartford, around some equity. We had some grant funding, and we contracted with SERC to do some youth equity leadership programming. And reached out to SERC. We wanted to work with a group of 7th graders on this project. And for those of you who work in middle school or have a middle schooler at home, 7th grade is an interesting age, right? You're not little kids anymore, they're grown. So I knew that our consultants would really have their work cut out for them, and thankfully all of them were awesome. Among them was Malik. Malik instantly connected with our students, His ability to share his story, empathize, and really motivate our students was something that I noticed right away. So when we talked about having the expertise in the room and the opportunity to uplift our stories and feel motivated and charged about the work that we're doing, we knew that Malik would be the perfect person. So I'm gonna read this part, go a little bit more into who Malik is. Malik is an educational consultant with the State Education Resource Center. He's also a spoken word poet, an inspirational speaker. He's the author of the book, Passion, Hunger, Drive, Live Your Dreams, Not Your Fears. He's been recognized by the Hartford Business Journal 40 Under 40. He's been presenting on places like NBC, Griot, Fox News, and a Hartford TEDx speaker. He's received an NAACP award, the Martin Luther King Legacy Award. He's also been recognized as the 100 Men of Color in Connecticut. He resides in the greater Hartford region with his wife and 3 children, one maybe somewhere amongst us. We're really excited to have Malik here today. I'm gonna start with the video and then turn it over to Malik. I will also recognize that at some point we'll have another presenter when he's here. I'll make sure that we recognize him because he'll be participating today. Don't wanna sneak up and surprise anyone on that. So start a video and I'll turn it over to Malik.
I've been through so much in my life that I wasn't meant to live an average or mediocre life. I wasn't meant to be homeless. I wasn't meant not to have. So for me, like I said, I went from special ed to a special ed teacher. I went from not speaking, from speechless to a motivational speaker. I went from homeless to a homeowner. So for me, it's just about righting the wrongs, not letting someone else tell my story. And that's the whole part about my life. But I try to give back to my community and give back to the people because it's not, it shouldn't be a secret, because it's not. It's not like a members only club. It's this thing where no matter where you're at, whether you're an adult or you're a kid, passion, hunger, and drive is in all of us. It's about bringing that greatness out of you. Bringing that fact of what makes you really tick. What makes you get up in the morning? What makes you rise and grind? What makes you wanna, work all night and get up early in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning? What would make you? I don't even sleep no more. I swear I take vision. I take naps and have visions about what's gonna happen. Because when you dream, are you dreaming about a fantasy that won't happen, or are you dreaming about a vision about what's going to come?
I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I wanted to give and empower people who were like me, who were the underdog, who were told that they would be nothing. That's what I wanted to do. So I spoke it. I spoke life into it. I made it a reality.
Because for me, as you can tell, I get so passionate about playing basketball. I love the game. I love the feeling when I played in college of, thousands of people yelling your name. That feeling that you get that like, this moment, this time is my time. This is my moment. I'm gonna put it all on the line. Right? There's no feeling like that. And when I graduated college, I remember trying to find that feeling. And when I get to speak, and when I'm able to get up there and I'm able to, all eyes on me, and it's quiet, and you hear every word.
You can't do your best. No. You have to do whatever it takes. You have to have that wit. When I mean that wit, whatever it takes.
And my objective is to motivate the unmotivated, to inspire the people who need to be inspired, to push people from average to good, from good to great, from great to unstoppable, relentless.
You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
There's something inside of me about giving to people, that in which people try to take from me. Giving people the fact that I'm living proof of the American dream. I'm living proof that no matter what people do to you, as long as you don't let them destroy you, as long as you bend but never break, that at the end of the day, you'll survive. And once you survive, you can thrive. But you just have to weather the storm.
My passion, my hunger, my drive. I am powerful. I am fearless. I am unstoppable. My dreams will become a reality. Thank you and God bless. So what I'm gonna do in the spirit of that video, in the spirit of us being here today, I'm super excited because I get to be in this room with not just the expertise, but the heart and soul of whatever district, company, or organization you come from. So with that, similar to Vincent, and this will be the only time I ask you to do this, I'm going to ask you to stand up and not move, but to stand up, and you're gonna put a hand in the air like this. And your hand, right, is like a 5. But I want you to look at each of your fingers. And each of your fingers, right, they're not connected, they're not together. And sometimes we're working and we're operating in our different districts, in our different schools, in our different organizations, and we're not working together. We haven't found that through line. So I want us to make a fist now and understand that we are stronger together. So we're gonna repeat after me. We're gonna say, my passion. Oh, no. You already know I'm gonna come with that heat. My passion. My hunger. My drive. I am powerful. I am limitless. I can love. I can feel. I am here. I am here. All right, grab a seat for me. So I wanted to start us off that way just because, man, I get to come here on the 9th year of Friday Cafe. And I'm glad to be in attendance, but we're gonna get right to it because we only have a little bit of time. Reading the screen right here, you see it says my why, right? Or your why has to be bigger than the goal. Your why, right? Why you do what you do. Why you show up to work. Why you get up in the morning. Why it is that you're chasing after the results or whatever benchmark you have. It has to be bigger than that. There has to be something bigger than you. What is that? Because Dr. Bishop talks about this idea of mirrors, windows, and sliding glass doors. So today we're going to look in the mirror. Because we have the ability, right, to look in the mirror, to look at ourselves, to self-reflect, and really motivate ourselves going into, for some of y'all, the school year, but going into this season. So if we can go to the next slide, or I can, do I have to click it? All right, cool. I appreciate you, brother. When I talk about my why when I was growing up, right? My why when I started my work around working with families, around working with students, around just working with people. I got my why from my mother. That's a picture of my mother. So when I'm gonna ask y'all is we're gonna do a little call and response. I'm gonna say, can I kick it? And you're gonna say, yes, you can. Okay, bet. Okay, y'all got the vibe check, so it's good. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. I like that. My mom had me 17 out running the streets, had to hold me close because we couldn't afford the heat. My real father didn't want me, said he ain't gonna take it. Even family turned their back like we ain't gonna make it. Mama always loved me, daddy hit and ran. I looked in the mirror, I couldn't understand, I was just a boy. Yeah, trying to be a man. I was just a boy, but I had to help feed the fam. So I say that because this is a picture of me and my mom's in Brooklyn in a brownstone. And this is a picture of my little brother too. I mean, he all right. But the idea is that my mom got pregnant with me at 16, and when you talk about our family dynamic changing and her life changing, my grandma kicked her out. And at that point, she chose me and for us to figure it out. And we had to figure it out. And I'm only bringing that up because all the struggles that I had, I didn't say my first word till I was 4. I spoke with a hard stutter for 10 more years. I was in special ed. My father wasn't around. We skipped around when we moved to Connecticut, right, from Section 8 to Section 8. And there was a hood, we was living in it. What I'm saying to you is this. When I got into this work, I had to understand my why. And my why came from seeing her work through what she had to work through to get to where she needed to get to. Does that make sense? Yes. So what I want you to do at your table, right, because I ain't going to take up all the air in the room, is that I want you to look at these 3. I'm going to talk through them real quick. I want you to think of 3 people or peoples, right? Number 1,
person or people that you love more than you love yourself. Number 2, the people who are depending on you to be there. And number 3, their success is linked to your success. So I want you to think about this personally, and I want you to think about this professionally, right? Outside some of the paperwork that bogs us down, the technical work. We're gonna get adapted to that, right? I want us to get to the root. I want us to get to the why. So take a minute, process it yourself, and then let's start having conversation at the table. I'll give you a couple minutes, and I'll warn you when we have a minute left, all right? All right, we gotta come back. I know we don't want to, but I didn't get to go over some of my rules, which is, one of them is that we had to expect and accept non-closure. I know. I got you. I know how this goes. If you hear me once, clap. If you think you're dope, clap. If you're ready to have some fun, clap. Oh man, I love it. I don't even know why. I don't need a microphone. No, I'm joking. I definitely need a microphone. So, thank you for coming back. I know that when we start talking about this, we can get going. And that just shows how great of a group we have, right? Just the fact that I was getting scolded over there about the time. It's okay. But when we talk about the why, for a lot of us, right, thinking about Simon Sinek's why and his golden circle, and how the why informs the how and the what, right? But I really want to keep it there at the why, and hopefully we had a chance, and we don't take for granted the ability to hear other people's story, right? Like how important that is. Something that I've been pushing this year, especially with the school districts I work with, is this concept called storyintation. Storyintation meaning that we're a collection of stories, right? We're a collage of stories, individually. And then you think about how fascinating it is that collectively we have even more stories. And the fact that when you get to share a story with somebody and listen to it, especially when they're sharing like a core memory or something that you feel, right? Is the things you feel are core memories, right? Like the first time I had my heart broken, that's a core memory, right? I know what I was eating. I know what the weather was that day, right? That's a core memory. Some of the information isn't. So sometimes thinking about the families and children we work with, think about how, like, the luxury we have to hear their stories, right? To bear witness. And the luxury you have to bear witness to each other's stories. So with that, we do have to continue because I have some other stuff that I think is important. Why? Because I created it. Okay, great. So before we get in here, I'm going to say a sentence, and I want whoever knows the ending of it or the rest of it, please continue. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river high enough to keep me. Oh, we got some soul in here. I love it. Look, if you work with me, you know we're gonna vibe. It's gonna be a good time. So, with that being said, at our tables, we're gonna talk about this. What is your theme? What is the motto of your life now? Not in 2019, right? Not coming up in what you want it to be, right? What is it now? Being here, being present. I want us to be completely present in this space, not 5 minutes ago, right now. What is the motto of your life? And for me, being through what we've been through, tough times don't last, tough people do. And I don't mean physically tough. I mean resilient. Having perseverance, right? Being tough enough to say, I need to go talk to somebody. Being tough enough to say, right, I need to take care of my physical health. I need to take care of my mental health. I need to self-care. That's for me, though. But for you, take a minute to process that, and whatever you feel safe enough or brave enough to share, please do that at your table. I'll give you a couple more minutes, and then we'll come back. So with that, we're not going to share on this one, but what I do want to do is work us through a couple more slides before we finish off. And that's, well, obviously this is like probably my favorite slide, right? What makes you come alive? And when I say that, I mean, how are you living your life? How are you working at the position that you have in your career? How are you doing that with passion, hunger, and drive? So Howard Thurman, a great theologian, they said that Martin Luther King Jr., had his book in his briefcase. But he has this beautiful quote where he says, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. Then go do that. Because what the world needs is more people that come alive." So when I put you back into your groups and we think about this, how does finding what makes you come alive serve people in your professional and personal life? How is it finding that passion, finding that hunger, finding that drive, finding that ability to serve when you don't want to serve, to engage when things are hard and there's a lot of barriers? How does that, right? How does finding this passion help you overcome those things? Help you with what you do professionally and personally? Let's take a minute, let's think about it, and then let's talk. All right. Let's come back to the larger group. So it sounds like, from what I was hearing, and I was able to zone in on some conversations, that you like the slide as much as I do. Even my table over here was talking. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next. Now, this one though, what I am going to do is, we're going to start off here. I want you to look at this photo first. Most of us have seen it, or some of us have seen it already. But I want you to tell yourself a story now. The story I want you to tell you is that, how does this photo describe me? That's all I'm going to give you. I could go further, but I'll leave it ambiguous. How does this photo describe me? And when you have a thought, and if you want to share it, actually, share it at your table. So let's start there. Share this at your table. No, I'm going to double back. I'm taking my time. What are your initial thoughts of this photo and how it relates to you and the work that you do? And who would like to talk? I had to pass you the mic though, so know that. Oh, I got somebody. Here you go.
Microphone.
There you go.
Somehow I get praised. But anyway, I think when I say that, it's like no matter, either you work with families or you work in a school like me, you have difficult people around you, so it's hard to deal with them. And it is pretty much, keep going.
Yes.
Really, and maybe find a way, and maybe they might help you to open up the tunnel or move away.
Phenomenal. Let's clap it up. Let me get at least, ooh, I got a quick hand. I like that.
I hope this is a safe space.
It is.
So for me, the initial reaction was that I operate with a sense of hard work and integrity, and I'm working hard and chipping away, and when I don't see the same level and I'm so close, then I get frustrated and I give up and walk away. And so that's the bottom figure.
So, you're going to come back. Tell me about the top figure now.
Any therapists here?
No, I say that at Holiday Inn. So I'm good. So tell me about the top. You gave me the bottom, but tell me.
So the top was just working, like
Yeah.
just putting your all in, just working,
Okay.
hard working, the sweat, the equity, just going at it day in, day out.
Okay.
You know, going above and beyond.
What are the diamonds?
The diamonds, that's what you're aiming towards. The diamonds is the results you want to see, the outcome.
Good. What are your diamonds?
My diamonds?
Mm-hmm.
How much time we got? That's a lot of diamonds right there. That's a treasure.
I have.
Freedom, life, success, not only for myself, my family, everyone who crossed my path, students, families.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
My husband,
Yeah.
the dog, like
Yeah. I love it.
from the diamond.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Woo! Now, I know I put you on the hot seat, but I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
No doubt, no doubt. But how many of us could have connected, right, to the two stories that we just heard, right? We're talking about professional, we're talking about life. How many of us can really connect to that? Like those diamonds, thinking about that work we put in, sometimes not seeing the work and the support from our team or other people, right? This is real. So what I want us to do, and I would if I had time, is that we would go and we would talk about this more at a table. But what we'll do is this instead. Because I want us to be able to get to this last question, right? This is a picture of me and my family. I mean, I'm glad they keep me. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Ain't that something? So I want y'all to repeat that to me. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's how you do it. It's how you do it. Oh, come on now. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. It's how you do it. It's how you do it. Nah, I love it. I love it. So my question for you is that if you were replaced tomorrow, right, what would be your legacy? Think about the rooms that you're in. Think about the hats that you wear. Think about, am I as intentional as I want to be? Or sometimes am I getting caught up in the fog of stuff, of the day-to-day? Am I giving it to that hard work, my all? Is there something here? Like, I'm inspired when I hear that, like when students go to to Harvard Business, one of the first things that they do is that they write their eulogy. Thinking about how will someone else talk about me? When this is all said and done, how will someone else talk about me? So I'm asking you basically the same thing. What will be your legacy? I can't do it for you, but I can tell you mine, right? Mine is this idea of, when I talk about passion, hunger, and drive, right? I talk about being attached to something that doesn't push me, it pulls me. It's like gravity. That's passion for me. When I talk about hunger, I talk about being starving, right? Like, I want to do this work. Like, if I'm only here from 9 to 5, you're going to get everything that I have. Right? Because it's a blessing to be able to just get up and get here and do what I get to do. It's about perspective. So I'm hungry to give what I have because I need to leave the end of the day with an empty bucket. And a lot of you, in the jobs that you do, you have to leave with an empty bucket. And then last thing is, I got to put things into drive. That means action. But in order to get ready to drive, you got to take care of yourself. So I would urge you to take care of yourself. Those times that you need that break, those times that you need to, relax and kind of just change your point of view, try to take a bird's eye view. Take a step back before you put things into drive. Right? Love on yourself. You can't give them everything. You gotta say something, right? Leave the kitchen sink at least. But what I'm saying though is this. I'm in a room full of people who I said before are the heart and soul of their organizations. But sometimes that's exactly what we give them, our heart and our soul. Give it, but you have to fill it. Does that make sense? Yes. Right? We have one arm to receive and one arm to give. So I need you to receive some, and I need you to give, because we have a lot of work to do. A lot of great work, a lot of good work, don't we? So, I'm on time, and my time is up.
You're fine. Do you need 5 more more minutes?
Oh, I mean, you know, we can make it a sermon. What I'll do is this.
Do you want people to talk?
Oh, so look, when the boss tell you got 5, you got 5. Know that. So we got 5 minutes. Let's sit at our table, right? And let's think for like a minute, and then let's talk, right? What would your legacy be? What would you want people to say about you? How about that? All right? Let's take a couple minutes and do that. Thank you. Talk about conversations. This, I can tell you, y'all a powerful group, and I want to first just thank you for having me, but I would leave you with this, and in the spirit of time, I'll be quick. When we think about legacy, I have this concept called the 10,000, right? And in anything that you do to master it, whether it's Malcolm Gladwell or Robert Greene, this idea is that it takes 10,000 hours, right? You hear that 10,000 hour rule, right? To master it, to be great at something. But when I think about being great at something, I don't think about perfection, I think about perseverance, right? I think about the idea of doing small things greatly over a long period of time. I don't think about the sprint, I think about the marathon, right? I think about the idea that the work that you do, the road that you take is long, but it bends toward that freedom. It bends toward that engagement, that love, that reconciliation, right? It bends towards that. So, but keep doing what you're doing because you're getting better, you're getting greater, right? We're greater later. And then the second 10,000 is that, to what you said earlier, you come here, you might be one person, right? Maya Angelou says, you might be one person, but you represent 10,000 people. Think about the 10,000 people who have poured into you, who have prayed over you, who have loved on you, who have given to you, who have thought about you, the well wishes, the seeds that you planted, or people who have planted inside you. And then on the back end, the last 10,000 is, it is your job, it is your goal to influence 10,000 people. To go out there and just do it and keep doing it because the work is important. And as you do it, and as you're becoming greater, and as you understand and have the confidence in doing what you're doing, you are building the foundations of your legacy. Because when I look at this picture, right, and my wife is here, and she knows how I get down, and you can ask her. If she leaves me, she's gonna have a hard time finding somebody else who's gonna love her the way I love her. My kids gonna have a hard time finding somebody, right, who's gonna father them the way I father them, right? Who's gonna care, protect, provide the way that I am intentionally going about it. So I would say the same thing in your life, but in your role, right? Be that intentional. Start with the end in mind. Start with the why. So with that being said, thank you so much for your time. God bless.
I just want to, again, thank Malik for so many, I couldn't write fast enough as far as all the words and the thoughts. I mean, influencing 10,000 people, it's like, wow, okay, that's kind of a charge. But I just want to, again, thank you all. We have some things in terms of just wrapping up the day as far as just detail kinds of things. But I just want to reinforce what Malik talked about, and that is taking care of yourself. So everyone here, with their heart and soul, does really hard and impressive work. And so if you've been at any Friday cafe before, I've talked about, you know, that old adage when you're on a plane, when the oxygen mask comes down because there's something going on, what are you supposed to do? You put it on your face first. Right? You put it on your face so that you can help others around you. And so that is part of, not only are we looking at new ideas and new concepts that we can you know, implement and practice in all of our lives, but we do need to take care of ourselves as we move forward. That's how you'll be able to influence 10,000.